evening presentation of Different Strokes will not be seen tonight as we um, host the 50th anniversary or 50th episode of What the Fellas Think. 50 episodes, fellas.
Oh, one of these.
Okay, we need to coach you. You need to practice a week in advance.
It's one of them. One of them.
That's definitely not this. Remind me of the intro to Key and Peele. When they're like, 50 episodes. Next week it'll be 51 and 52. Next, before you know it, we'll be talking about 100 episodes. But yes, this is another episode of What the Fellas Think. Fellas, how you doing?
All well, bro. All well.
Okay, that's good. First off, I just want to say, um, that man up there, or Tiger Brown, he keeps it going. He's the inspiration. And I just want to keep reminding you about our social media presence. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, and I'm going to share with you my OnlyFans page. It's Chunky Lover 69. There's no What the Fellas content on there.
Hey, he charging $3.99, ladies. $3.99.
$3.99.
$50 per text message.
I just uploaded a picture of me in a leopard Speedo on a bearskin rug. Don't miss out on it. Hey, but look,
I'm done. I'm done, bro.
Oh man. But you know what? Let's get to it. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna do a current events segment, and Brandon's gonna kick it off for us.
Yeah, I had it's been a couple juicy stories this week, past 2 weeks really. But one story I wanted to discuss was the air cadet being killed over the weekend kayaking. Incident that occurred was she was kayaking and she got hit with a jet ski from now one lady was riding it, turned out to be an illegal immigrant, which that sparked the whole thing, media swirl with that. But they fled the scene and tried to hide out when they were caught with bags packed and suitcases and everything. So it looked like they were fleeing. And that's illegal.
Feel me now.
As illegal immigrants, I kind of understand. But the first thing the Texas governor says is death penalty for these individuals, which is it's a messed up story. This girl is 18, Ava Moore, an air cadet. She's 18. Please ignore the screaming in the background. Ain't nobody being killed of it. I'm sorry, that just threw me off. But the air cadet being killed, and what's y'all thought on that incident there?
Tragic. It's unfortunate, she's out just living life and not being careful or being aware of your surroundings caused her to lose her life. She didn't wake up. When she woke up, she was thinking about all the fun she was going to have, the relaxation. She wasn't thinking, hey, this is going to be my last day breathing, existing. And that's real sad. So I take life real precious, and something unfortunate like that. And even if I was illegal, where's your conscience in not staying there to see the process through? Just sad. Somebody lost a daughter, sister, a friend. Real unfortunate.
What's your thoughts, Jim?
I mean, I totally agree with Elroy. It's very tragic. And that's one thing why I try to take every day like personal. Like every morning, I actually wake up and say thanks. You know what I'm saying? Like I woke up because like I know people who didn't wake up the next day. I have family members, recently that didn't wake up. So every day I wake up and say thank God. You know what I'm saying, that I'm here. But my question was back to you. I didn't catch what state was this in? Which state?
Let me see here. Let me see. 1 second here. This was in Texas.
Texas.
So
So so,
yeah,
so is does Texas already have a death penalty, or they just passed that?
they
Yes, they
already
do.
have
So
that.
yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, this lady was or this young lady was already set to be, part of the class of 2029. She was according to her coaches, her commanding officers, she was very promising. So, which this event kind of sheds lights on her. She was a basketball athlete star. She was a very promising young student and
Hmm.
promising Air Force cadet as well. So, to me, I just think I do have empathy for the legal immigrants because you're illegal. As soon as they see you, it's basically gonna be all zeroed in on you. So I do understand the fear of that, but I'm with like you guys said though. I think they should have stayed to see it through because possibly could have helped. You know, life saving measures, whatever they could have done to help instead of just leaving the scene. So I do agree with y'all on that.
So one last thing I want to add about that is, and I don't want to come off as being the edgy guy. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, everything I say, I mean, and it might come out funny, but it's true. She is probably wishing she, I wish it was simple as being deported back. No, you can't take back what you did, and I hope you do get the death penalty. It's those cases like that where there's no beyond a shadow of a doubt. You committed murder. The fact that you left, well, manslaughter or whatever. I don't want to say you deserve to die, but I just did. I don't want to say that, but it's just like this young girl kayaking didn't have a choice. Didn't somebody say you can either live today or die today? She didn't have a choice. She was dealt the hand of fate, and somewhere in this big book, her name was written on that day that she would stop existing. I hope. Well, I'm not gonna hope. I just don't have any empathy for the person that hit her and fled. Just like so, I'm gonna kind of step off bounds for a second, but it's kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
I, I'm jumping into sports. The player Indiana Halliburton, his dad, the ban got lifted. He's now allowed to attend games. Bullshit. At least the rest of the season, you can't be there. You did what you did, and basically it's not even a slap on the wrist. Oh, his son, he should be there for his son. His son's gonna, oh, that makes for great headlines. Bullshit. He did what he did, and he has to face the consequences. I think for the rest of the season, he should be banned from all NBA games. Let's try it again next season. And and in that case, I would have hoped that his son won and he couldn't have been there. We need to follow through on consequences. You know, and I'm sorry, I'm not. It's apples and oranges, but it's the same thing. Pete Rose betted on games when he was a player and a manager, so he had a say so in the outcome. Uh, yeah, my star pitcher, I don't want him to play. I want that guy who has a strain in his arm to pitch today. And he won. And now they lifted the ban on him to make him eligible for the Hall of Fame. No, you did what you did, and you got to suffer the long term consequences. So when I say stuff like that, it's like you did what you did. You got to accept the consequences, and
The only
that's
the only thing the only thing I question is there clear cut evidence that these were the guys who did it? Because
Oh,
like, do we have
oh yeah.
video proof and stuff like that? Because I'm reluctant on death penalties. No, I'm definitely for in this
I
day and
agree.
age. You know what I'm saying? So I agree only if there's like clear cut evidence. Then whatever the state say, the state say. But I don't want the state to have power to just give people the penalty. You know what I'm saying? The needle or the gas chamber. You know, just because they say someone's guilty. Because it's a lot of people who's innocent. You know what I'm
Even if
saying?
there's
So
a hint of doubt, yeah, I don't believe in severe penalties, even if there's a hint of doubt. We had a gentleman, I think late last year, who was executed based on hearsay.
mhm,
That
Marcus Williams.
yeah, so
Yeah.
no, that I don't believe in.
Mm.
But if it's
okay.
it's this clear cut, it's you were there, there's witnesses, you admit to it and say you're sorry, then guess you know what?
Well, that's the thing. That's already been in place there. I believe it only took them 2 days to apprehend these people too. There were witnesses there. They've already admitted to the crime, so that's already it's already set in stone here. But to me, I just with the death penalty in regards to it, someone did lose their life. I am never in support of the death penalty unless it's an event that involves a family, a child, or some type of brutal killing where it's like a mass group, like church shootings, all that. I'm all all for the death penalty in that case. But in this incident, I just don't. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of have empathy for both sides in this story.
No, I don't, because if
Yeah.
if you don't give them the death penalty, you're gonna give them life, and
Yes.
that's the taxpayer paying for their meals, their health, and all that stuff for the rest of their lives. And who's to say she won't live to be in her 80s? I believe she was a young woman in her late 20s, early 30s, or whatever. So no, I'm not gonna support you, even though it's a different state. I'm just saying I'm going to feed your habit, your livelihood for the rest of your life. You took a life, pay for it with your life.
Mhm.
Not you making jail sound like it's going to the Dales, fella. It's jail. It's not just because you get 3 meals a day. It ain't all pieces and
You know
cream.
what? You know what? And it's in-house punishment. It is worse than being a kid, but you find the ins and outs, and you find a way to make it work. They make wine out the toilets. You know, sex is there if it's an option. No, it's not the greatest place to be, but when you come to a new environment, you try to adapt to make the best of it. You know what?
Elroy, I just seen
Adapt to that electric chair.
I just want to say I seen a video recently of an inmate and he was holding two blades about a foot long each. And the guy was saying this is a normal routine in prison. And some prisons, depending on where you at. So jail is no joke. You know, it's kind of like it may be even worse. It's probably easy to get somebody a death penalty. You know what I'm saying? Like jail is probably a little bit worse than the death penalty. It could be because surviving in there, like hearing stories, horror stories from uncles, it's no playground, man. Like Brandon says, it's not for the weak,
Not every prison is the same.
but
And it,
most.
but most and who says she won't look up and get with the right people and it be a cakewalk for her? I'm sorry, just there's no sympathy. And when I say that, even when I do stuff, if I get in trouble, if I get reprimanded for something, I don't stand there and try to make excuses. All I'm saying to myself is, I brought this on myself. I said this or I did this. I'm not pointing fingers, no matter how, oh, that punishment's too excessive. But I had a hand in what I did. I've accepted my responsibility in the situation. It starts with me.
That man mature over there, man. I'm
No, I'm
like,
just saying, own up to your shit. You're the common denominator in things that happen to you. You're always
facts,
involved.
facts.
So you got to ask yourself, what part did you play in whatever situation it is?
I,
That
I
that's
hear,
just me. That's
I hear everything you saying, But when it comes to that death penalty, I get a little itchy when people are playing judge, jury, and executioner. Like
No,
that's like
if there's
that's
doubt, if there's
yeah,
doubt, all right, let's
yeah.
figure it out. If we can't, then I would rather say, you know what, I don't know for sure, but we'll keep them.
Well, I think we've shed enough light on that. I'll
Hey,
go
can
to
I interrupt 1 second? New Orleans, there's only one inmate left. The stud is on the loose.
What's his name?
Derek something, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, they caught Anthony or Massey or
Man,
Anton
they
Massey.
were down. They were down to two.
Yeah,
Now they're only down to one.
but Anton, I think it's Antoine
Well,
Massey was.
I ain't trying to get to know them and know their names.
But he was taunting them, like he was posting videos and social media videos and everything.
One cat got his grandmother arrested because she gave him
Yeah,
some money.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. That's another crazy story. But on somewhat of a lighter story, we'll discuss Dame Dash losing his lawsuit for defamation of a character. Having to pay out $1.6 million, and definitely, I mean, he's had a lot of legal troubles already. Having to pay $1 million, having to sell his house, having to sell records, platinum records and stuff to cover his bills, his tax debt, which is at $8.7 million, and that is tax debt. So I just think this is crazy for him to such a fall. Dame Dash was looked at like a baller, Jay-Z before Jay-Z in terms of balling. But what y'all think on this? The downfall of Dame Dash.
I have no sympathy for Dame Dash. If Dame Dash would have made better life choices, he wouldn't have been in the situation he's in. I remember an interview. He had just came back from running, and he says, "I never wear the same T-shirt twice." So if he's going through these T-shirts, and he called himself a cakeaholic, addicted to money or whatever. If you're addicted to money, you should have been held on to it a whole lot better.
Mm.
At the end of the day, no sympathy.
Way hard, man.
MC, no, I'm
Right.
sorry. I'm just being honest. I ain't being no different. I'm not being comical. I'm just being straightforward and honest. MC Hammer, he tried to help everybody. Look where that got him.
What's your thoughts, Jerry?
Elroy is tough. I didn't know my boy. I didn't know my boy was that tough, man. But in a way though, I agree with him. Like I have no sympathy for millionaires, and I don't think he's broke. I think he may cough up this 1.7 million, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure he has investments, real estate, property. So I don't think he went broke like we see it broke to be. He's a millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
You get
Multi-millionaire.
a
So
different definition of broke.
different definition. So he just have a setback, and as 50 said, this is only a setback. Get back up. He was joking, but it was true. Like he's a millionaire. I don't feel a sympathy for people who can just turn around like common people. We can't lose money like that. There's no recovery when you lose lawsuits like that. You just can't. It's hard to recover. But for him, like Elroy says, I have no sympathy. He'll be fine. Like he will be okay.
I put it in the same case as a football player or a basketball player losing 90 million, 50 million, 30 million. We all know of a famous person, Latrell Sprewell. $3 million ain't enough to feed my kids. We know that. We know that. So I mean,
but
can you recover?
Yeah, but I think athletes are different, right? Like if now are you talking about a retired athlete or a current athlete that's still playing? If he's still playing, then he can recoup next year something, right?
Retired athlete. Let's go retired athlete.
Retired one is different. Like I may feel more sympathy because normally, as history shows, they're not well versed in maintaining money. Most of them go broke after 5 years, right? So I don't compare him to a Dame Dash who's been a businessman since 17. Dame Dash was a businessman since 17. Like he was doing things that people wasn't doing at that age. Like he was trying to run his own company, like a record label. Like people weren't thinking that way. So a businessman at 17 and he has a lawsuit 1.7 million, I think he's fine. I don't think he's broke. I think he'll be okay. I would have more sympathy for that retired NBA player.
Hmm.
That's me.
I
Yeah, bro.
to me, I don't know. I look at it like I don't know. Maybe I'm sympathetic to everybody. I guess I don't know, but to me, I just look at it
You are
like
the passionate one.
I just look at it like for Dame. I hope it's a growing process for him to move better. That's what I would hope for him. But I do think it's hard to recover when you lose. You up you up so high, right? You up 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, and then you down. You down, ain't affording the lifestyle that you. That's a hard fall to me, especially as a man that grew up in South Side of Inglewood, knowing what it's like to be at the bottom and then get out that situation, and then you up comfortable, and then you go back down to that situation. That would be horrible. That'd be
But that's
horrible.
different. That's different.
I
Like if you start from the bottom and you make it to tier two, let's say
don't.
that drop down is closer, so it's more fear based. You're
Mm,
talking about like a millionaire who went to tier 10. He's not falling down to zero unless something tragic happens, right? His fall down would be a 5, right? But he won't miss a meal. He won't go out. He won't go cold nights. He won't do that. His kids has a stake still. He still got his movie things trying to do. Like he didn't lose that. He still have those assets who can still produce money for him. So he didn't lose everything. He just lost some liquid money, and I think he will keep. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
I think it's different. I think it's different from coming from poverty, like we all came from,
Mm,
right? And making it 2 steps up. You know
mm,
that fall down it can be tragic.
mm. I don't know, man. Hey, we'll see though. We'll see. Best wishes for Dame Dash out there, even though 50 Cent on his heels. I wanted to discuss this week that what happened with Larry Hoover, his sentence being commuted. That for people who don't know, that means basically his sentence wasn't fully pardoned, but it was lessened. Let's just say that his sentence was lessened.
Well,
He's not a free man.
his federal charges are gone.
Yeah.
He still has to answer for the state charges here in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
So really it did dick for him. Probably that he can run an empire in the prison because he's not in supermax anymore where he's isolated. He can have a little bit more freedom.
Well, I didn't know in his case there was actually a kingpin statute, which puts him in the realm of El Chapo, which I don't even think I know.
Yes, it is. He was the leader of an organization.
Well,
He was the figurehead.
listen what I'm saying though. I've heard the stories. We all heard the stories of growing up in Chicago, what Larry Hoover was and what he did. But compared to what El Chapo did, now
There's no comparison.
I
No
don't think
comparison.
that's the same. Yeah, I don't think
No
that's
Well,
the
comparison.
same.
you can't say, well, you know what, we're not going to put you in because you're not El Chapo, but you still did what you did. You can, and let's go with the tiers. Here he is at tier 10 saying, this fool needs to die before I go to sleep tonight. And you got a tier 1 guy putting in work. It trickles down and it's done. It's no
Mm.
different. The only thing that's different is the money.
No,
So
I'm talking about the crimes. The
yeah, the
crimes.
crime.
That's what
So
I'm
I just
Well,
want to. I want to
maybe
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Roy.
maybe his deaths aren't as heinous as El Chapo's, where he put some hungry rats in a bag and put it over your head, but it still ended in the same result. You,
Yeah.
it's the same thing, just different levels and different levels of reach.
Do you? What I'm saying is El Chapo probably killed thousands. I don't think Larry
Probably,
Hoover. I don't think Larry Hoover is in the realm of that. That's what I'm
no,
saying.
but you can't. Again, you can't compare the two.
Yeah.
He
Well, under
still
Kingpin stature, they the
he
same.
still he still
Mhm.
ran an empire, and not everything has to be murder. He was responsible for how drugs move. He's responsible for how people got shook down. It it's still crime at the end of the day. Not as big as El Chapo. It doesn't get on the news because he's such a lower level, and they probably think less of us anyway. But yet he still had that reach. I'm sure he had people that were cops that were under his foot, so to say, that he could, hey, we need some time with such and such tonight, whatever. It's still the same thing.
So I just want to put things into perspective a little bit because I hear was talking about Larry Hoover as like the later Larry Hoover. The first time he went to jail at 19, and his crime was murder to hire, right? And because of that crime, they gave him what, 6 life sentences. So that's what, 200 years, almost. So it's different. The crimes we're speaking on right now is racketeering and RICO. That came later. That came after the FBI been investigating. I'm still want to know, like, how do you give someone 200 years for a murder to hire? And in comparison, I was looking to see, and the thing is people like you mentioned El Chapo and Larry Hoover. The one thing they had in common is neither one told. So they was made an example out of because they never told. All the other, you can go down the Italian mafia, the John Dillingers, you can go all through this case of Chicago, and you will see even bigger mobsters or gangsters than Larry was ever. But they had shorter time because most of them told.
Well,
You know what
who
I'm
was
saying?
Larry
So
Hoover and El Chapo gonna tell on? When you're sitting at the top of the pyramid, you can't tell no on nobody.
you can. That's the thing. Yes, you can. Like all the Italian mafias that I was just mentioned, like they was the top. They was the boss. They was the head. They was telling on an organization, telling on crooked cops. They was telling everything. So the thing was that Chapo and Larry Hoover have in common is they didn't tell, so they made an example out of both of them. Because I just thought
Well,
200 years is kind of crazy. I never heard that before.
well, you got look at Frank Lucas. He told on all the
Hmm.
cops. His sentence went down from more life
Yeah,
sentence to 15 years.
yeah, he got
That
out.
is, yeah. So I mean, that's just one incident right there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeremy. I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no, no, no. I was done. That was it. You
Ah,
added to what I was saying.
hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
People have advocated for Hoover
Mm.
to be released for years, uh, especially when Chicago was at the height of gang violence. They thought somebody with his power could reach these kids and kind of put them in line, so to say. Then that would have been a great time for him to have access and not necessarily freedom because he did what he did,
Mm.
but to be able to speak to him and talk to him and say isn't a route to go, that would have been a great thing. The power structure has become so divided. You got guys that's only a corner apart that's warring with each other, but they're probably still under the same flag, but there's no unity. So I really don't see the benefit now when you're not unified. There's probably somebody out there right there that if who was to walk the streets, they would see it as an opportunity. If I took him out, I could be the man. So without unity, I really don't see what influence he would have. Now,
Well,
I fell into the hoopla too because I couldn't believe that Trump pardoned him, and I'm going to bring up something about that in a minute. But I couldn't believe he got. But I'm like, and I said the same thing before they said it on the news. I'm like, if they let him go federally, he still has charges in Illinois to answer to, and Pritzker's not going to let him go.
I just think, and I had to use Plies as a example of this, but us as a culture, though, we do get excited when we get a token, basically, from from a president. And I feel like this is a minor token because it doesn't really help the community, like you said, because he's not on the street. He can't speak, or at least from what we know now, he can't speak to the kids or get the streets unified or get these kids under control. They're still wilding. There's still division. They're still battling each other 2 blocks apart. So that's I don't know. I don't know.
I think now he can probably reach him because he's not in an isolated cell where there's nobody around him and he only gets 1 hour recreation a day. I think he again he did what he did and he has to atone for what he did, but yet he can still reach out to them and say, hey, this isn't the way to go. Maybe that's what they need to hear from his lips, that
Maybe.
this isn't the way to go, and talk to him, do a little scared straight, program or whatever. So he still has a chance to do good, but I'm not saying let him go.
Well,
Now, based on that, I'm the Beehive is the last people, bunch of people on my but tell me where I'm lying at. That's all I can say.
Hey, well, we do have a development in the story of Tory Lanez witness statement being caught on video. So we're gonna play a little video for our audience here. Let me share that.
The girl opened the door, two girls fighting, and then they shot. And she got out of the car and crawled over. The doors of the escalator open, and the girl come out and pull open the passenger door and started screaming and yelling at somebody in the car.
So the girl who came out of the passenger, you're talking about the front passenger?
No, the rear.
The rear passenger. So the girl comes out of the rear passenger and she goes to the front passenger?
Yeah.
And she opens up the car door?
Yeah.
And then what happens?
They're screaming and shouting at each other and they start fighting.
The two girls?
Yeah, I can see one like feet coming out trying to kick her and the other one's fighting, and then the passenger gets out.
So the girl who does the punching and the kicking is the girl that comes out of the back passenger?
Can we stop there? Because I don't want to. I'll tell you, and then I want to go. My son's on his own.
Yeah, I understand.
Then the gun. Then the girl shoots. So the driver's door's open.
And you're seeing the girl shoot?
Can I help you? I think, is it this house?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
So you see the girl doing the shooting?
I see what appears to be the girl standing here and shooting into the car. That's what it looked like to me. But it was dark, and I'm above, so. But then the guy gets out again from the back.
As y'all
Yes, I wanna add a little bit more because I seen a longer video, and I think the same guy in the beginning, he explained how he was able to pinpoint or identify that allegedly, I'm gonna say, Megan was in the back seat and she got out the front seat, and her and Kelsey started fighting, and that's when he was saying Kelsey was kicking out the car while Megan was punching her through the car, and then Kelsey got out the car, and a fight started to happen again, and that's where he said Kelsey went back to the car, and he was saying like the gun went off, like it appears the girl shot, right. And then there's more videos of course of Megan. I think we all seen this before. She was saying that she wasn't shot, and then so everything's allegedly, but I just thought it was kind of strange that you have this eyewitness saying that a girl shot the gun On top of that, there's no DNA on the gun of Tories. It's a 0.01%, which means 1 out of 400 million black guys can be on that gun as far as fingerprints. The only thing they've actually found gunpowder on all 4 of them, because if you went in proximity, the gun go off, it can go everywhere, right? So I just found this video to be kind of strange in my opinion.
Well, I agree with you too, because it's like, but my question, my pushback to this is, why would Tory Lanez not just say this? Why go through jail? Who are you protecting? Who are you protecting? Because it's like, why go do this? You're stabbed. First of all, he's stabbed now. He's permanently, he has a traumatic event that occurred in his life forever now. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I don't understand why go through all this to protect individual or individuals. I don't know who he's protecting. Why? That's my question. Why not just say this?
I agree, and they asked him the same question recently. He made some, I'm not going to say excuse, but he made some answer to that. He was stating that he didn't want to put a black woman in jail because he was heading towards Kelsey. He was saying he grew up without his mother. She had a kid, and he was trying to say he didn't want to do that. And originally, it was all supposed to be like everybody went home okay. Even Megan, during the time that she was questioned by the police, was saying that I wasn't shot. Oh, am I in trouble? I don't want to have this publicity on me. You know, nothing happened. I wasn't shot. I stepped on, like she was saying this to the cops. So I think at that time in the car, I guess they all maybe agreed to that be that. But I just think it's, I'm no judge, no jury, you know. So, but I think me using my common sense is, to me, is more common that the witness say 2 girls fighting, right? And Megan is like 5'11", 190. Kelsey is probably what, 5'1", 140, right? So it wasn't an even match. So I'm pretty sure like she got handled, right? And it's, to me, in my common sense, I want to say it's more common than 2 girls fight, one get mad, one get a gun, one shoot. Not at her, not towards a killer, but whatever, the girl shoot. Then me saying 2 girls fighting over whatever the thing was about, and then the guy shoots at the girl because they're fighting to stop him. It just don't, to me, it don't add up. But I'm no judge, no jury.
Well, my second question is, why would Megan agree to that? Why not just agree say to what happened? Why would Megan agree to say it was Tory?
See, I don't think Megan actually, that's what I'm saying. We don't know. But I don't think Megan actually knows who shot at her, because according to her video on live, she was saying, well, if Kelsey didn't do it, then she should have told me she didn't do it. If Tory didn't do it, he should have said that he didn't do it. So neither one told her who did it. So that tells me, if she's questioning that, she don't really know who did it, right? So how it went to Tory, we don't know.
Well, my third question is, why wasn't that a part of some court proceeding? Because that's like reasonable doubt right there. If we don't know who shot, or she don't know who did it, that's like, you can't charge this man all this time based off of that. That don't make no sense. And now he's stabbed, so it's over. Yeah. It's over with.
And one more thing I just want to add. I think it was Kelsey's bodyguard, the driver. After the stabbing, it's very convenient though, but after the stabbing of Tory, he came out and made an affidavit stating that that Tory did not shoot that gun. Right. So it's a lot of question marks, and it's the same question. I don't know her name, but some politician, she's now spearheading this and trying to help push this through the local government to have them reopen a case, because she went through all the files and all the videos. There's more videos that we haven't even seen yet, but apparently she went through them and saying that this case was ruled unfairly, and she's trying to open up a new case to I guess we do the case.
Hopefully justice comes out and truth comes out. So what's your thoughts, Roy? We've been skipping over you. I'm sorry.
He don't care.
I'm just gonna be honest. Thank you. I'm so over it. I really am. I'm so over it. Megan made a song called Shots Fired. And in this song, she made it seem like she was talking about Tori, that shot her. It's turning into a late night soap opera of who did it. You know, no DNA. The gun went off. That's all we know. And I don't want to sound crass, but I'm just over it. I would never ever take the blame for something I didn't do. I don't care who
Never.
you are. I that's that's just me. You want to know what my mindset is, and now that we're kind of on this line of hip hop and court proceedings, I'm kind of into these Papoose and Remy Ma videos, them going back and forth. I mean, it's pettiness at its best, and actually has my attention. If I run across one of the videos, I will sit back and watch it. You know, Papoose is making accusations that he's ghost written most of her hits. Remy saying he doesn't have money. Uh, it's just a lot of mudslinging, and they've been apart for about over a year now. So I'm wondering why all of a sudden, they taking the social media to air out their
over
dirty laundry.
over 2 years, over 2 years. But
So
that to me, and it should be a lesson to the youth out here. That ain't how you handle business at all. Like even to the people that they're going into relationship, and I just want to take a quick second since you did bring that up to school people out here. Papoose, and I'm gonna say this just as a man, you should handle your business before you ever step foot in a relationship with another woman. You brought her into this situation. Now she a part of this back and forth. That's that's a problem right there. This is what lack of love looks like to me. To me. And Remy, and I call him Yuck Mouth because I'm used to seeing his teeth. Out his mouth, I call him. Lord forgive me. But to the rapper dude, this is the same way for you. Remy should have handled her business before you ever even step foot in a relationship. This is like extra drama that should be a honeymoon phase for both relationships. Is now a turmoil phase, and you going through all this back and forth. It's public. People bringing up old images of your girl Papoose looking like a poor lady and all that stuff, and just talking down on her. This should not be a part of her life. This whole drama situation, and the same thing for Buddy. But it's to me, I have no respect for the whole situation. It's all clown behavior to me. I'm not slinging no mud in a divorce. If I moved on, I'm done with it. I ain't even talking about it. It's over with. It's over with. You can talk about it if you want to. I'm not doing the immature behavior because whatever happened, it happened and it's over. And I'm moving forward. That's how you're supposed to handle it. But let that be a lesson to the youth out here when you do get these situations.
so I kind of don't care,
Mm.
but if you're willing to put your dirty laundry out, I am going to listen. Case in point, uh, somebody I know, uh, his spouse was allegedly cheating on him, and he went all over Facebook clowning her, putting her down. Didn't give raw details, but she went out and she didn't come back to the next day or 2 days later. And I just watched him go in on her. And guess what? They're still together. So if you, guess what? So you put all that stuff out there, and then there's people like, yeah, I told you you shouldn't have trusted that bitch. Now he's back with her. And it's just like, I, without physically getting into it and doing this, if I can watch it from my cell phone or my laptop, I'm gonna watch the foolery, but I'm not gonna get there live and in person. But yeah, I just sit
See,
back and watch.
that's what you don't do. You don't take your business, your private business, and make it public business to people that you don't even know. Most of, I'm sure he got a bunch of Facebook followers that he don't know, or she got a bunch of Facebook followers that she don't know, and they just spreading business out there. You don't do
Oh
that. You
no,
don't do that.
it's the people that they know. That's what really gets him. I mean, he just went in on her. You this, you that, and they're still together after you made those accusations. Like, first they were like, "Yeah, we don't like that bitch," and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know,
Yeah,
you
that's
don't.
crazy.
don't- So I'll watch it without physically getting into it. Being right in their faces. But if you put it out there for me to see, I'm gonna watch. So yeah, if Remy or Papoose post a video, I'm not going to look for it. But if I run across it, I'm gonna stop and watch. Just like some other foolery that's going on right now is Offset is looking for spousal support from Cardi B.
Clown behavior, boy, boy.
And you know
Boy.
what? What the thing is, well, she would really have to go in on him with the cheating accusations. Because if he win, Cardi B is like one of the highest paid female rappers, and she ain't put out an album in shit almost like 6 years. But yet I think her net worth was like somewhere between 100 and
A
150 million
hundred,
strong.
yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
And he's looking for spousal report. If he get it, more power to the brother. But she kept taking him back every time he cheated. She just kept taking him back. So I mean, again, I don't go looking for the foolery, but if I run across it, you got my attention for a few minutes.
I'm, I'm gonna just say for that spousal support that Offset is looking for. Ain't no man moving like that. I don't. To me, I don't care if I'm
No,
dating. I'm
Mary
dating
J.
over.
Blige husband, she has to pay him
Yeah,
spousal support.
I know.
Holly
I
Berry, her
know.
husband, she has to pay him spousal support. So
I
it is out there, and these
I
dummies are
know.
setting themselves up for it.
But I ain't. I wouldn't do that because I think that's just. I ain't living off no. Just as a man, I'm not living off no woman. I don't care if I'm dating Oprah Winfrey and I want spousal support. Then I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Shit.
I can't.
You get a car. You get a car. No,
look at,
and it's funny because my fun facts or facts is about prenup agreements. I don't care. It's a thin line between love and stupidity. It really is. I mean, if the love is there, you honestly shouldn't have no problem signing a prenup agreement because at the end of the day, you're just protecting yourself. So, let's say in Cardi B's case, Offset can go stray off, and then he can end up getting spousal support. If you the prenup is about separating a relationship. If there's no love and you guys are over it, you're over with. But to take your assets with you, fucking Jeff Bezos divorced his wife. She took half of his, and I want to say billions, like 125 billion. But
it
he
wasn't
but
half.
he quickly earned it back. But it's the point is, you know what? I love you, but I got to protect myself.
I don't,
And if everything is good, this piece of paper that you're signing, it's not going to mean nothing. But I got to protect myself. You can never trust nobody 100% except for yourself. Because when it comes down to you and the other person, it's all about survival. And at that moment, they could say, I'm going to screw you because I want what you have. They can be the most loyalist person until they need or they want. You got to protect yourself.
I don't. But people gonna push back if it's about love. Why you need a piece of paper?
I
If it's
love
about
you,
love.
but I'm protecting myself. I don't know when you.
But
I know what I'm gonna do. I don't know when you're gonna. If you're gonna switch up. I mean, nobody gets married and says I'm gonna have an affair, but it happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
nobody. I always said this. Like if I ended a relationship, I was like, I didn't get into this to break up, or I didn't get into this to get divorced. Where did it go wrong? You see all the great things about it, but behind that door, you don't know what the mystery surprise is. So a prenup, it just protects you. And if everything keeps going on, it's a great relationship. That piece of paper really doesn't mean nothing because the prenup is about breaking up and leaving.
I saw this. This brings up a good point to me. I think a lot of people in the world they don't know how to be in a relationship and talk to one another because you gonna go through things. I saw an interview that kind of triggered me with what's her name, Barbie or whatever her name is. The girl, the Catch Me Outside girl. Uh, she said just because she had a black eye and a boyfriend cheated on her, she should leave. And I was like, yes, yes. There's things in a relationship that are unacceptable and the things that are acceptable. But everything's a conversation. And to me, that's where it struggles in whether it's our community or the world. Like people don't know how to talk to each other, how to communicate, how to conflict resolution. In which, at least in our community, it ain't good examples of that. It's people getting the guns, shooting through the door, getting hit with the car. No, it ain't
Right.
no.
No, you made a good point. They shooting through the door. They don't know who's on the other side. If you want to
Exactly.
shoot and you want to hurt somebody, make sure you're shooting at the right person. Make the right person bleed.
Well,
Not the innocent bystander.
nah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying why you getting the gun in the first place. Like the conflict ain't that serious to be doing all that. But we don't have great examples in the community like that. Not too many, I wouldn't say. But that's the problem in today's society. People don't know how to be in a relationship, how to talk to one another. That's why you got people who think just marry for money. Do you realize how stupid that is? Like you marrying for something where the value of it is changing per second. So that means the value of your relationship is changing per second. And you think that's gonna sustain you. And that's terrible. That's terrible. That's why you got guys now who would rather pay millions of dollars to an OnlyFans model than actually go talk to a girl. that's that's crazy society. Crazy. Like that's the thing. But I'm sorry I went off on my whole little.
Oh, you good. So are you through?
Yeah, I'm through. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm
No,
sorry.
no. I just didn't want to interrupt you while you was doing your thing.
Yeah.
So I got a different take on how I'm doing things. I got a series of snapshots I took off of social media, and I just want to kind of go around the table and just get your perspective on it. Like this one right here.
Okay.
So the
It
guy
is right.
saying you lied to me, I can see it all from here, but he's only getting a certain perspective that gives you the illusion of lying, where the guy labels science is like, look, it's not raining, and and so I guess with social media, a lot of people do this. They put these illusions out there, like they're living the best life and they're balling out of control. They're Facebook famous. That's what we call it.
Mhm.
And their life is nothing like that. And when you know somebody and you're looking at this, it's like, that's bullshit. That's not his. That's his
Mm.
brother's. It's like you just calling people on their bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't.
So Airboy, I see this and I hear you, but I think of it differently. I think is different because in my mind, watching this, the guy who's saying you lied to me, it's his perspective, right? So he really probably believed it is raining because he can't see. He didn't step back to see the skies. I think social media people purposely lie to you. You know what I'm saying? They purposely have like a certain stigma they want you to believe, and they
Hmm.
feed you that, and they feed you that for a gain. I think this is more in my viewpoint of a perspective. It reminds me of that picture, you may have seen it, of three guys looking through a window, and one was standing on a lot of books, and he was blind. The one who was standing in between, I'll show you. I'll bring it up, but it reminded me of that. It's more so, like I said, like you said, perspective. I just think social media purposely try to trick you. Here, I think he just ignorant and blind to what's going on.
I agree on I agree with the lines along the lines of Jeremy and you, Roy, but I see a lot of stuff on social media that's false. There are people on social media who will tell you how to avoid taxes, like give you false ways or illegal ways to get tax deductions and get you jammed up on purpose and get you jammed up. And I was recently watching a video that's kind of plays into this. They'll put out a false perspective, like, "Oh, I did this, and look what I got." But you didn't do that. You only telling us you done that and you got this, but he really got it by other means. And that's the thing that's crazy about social media. And it's even other famous videos where a guy sees a Instagram baddie, right? He's scrolling through her pictures looking amazing, but he has her standing in front of her and she looked bogus, absolutely terrible. And that's the problem with social media. It's gonna sell you a life and a lie, and until you go out there and experience it yourself, you're not gonna know the truth. And that's the problem. Most people are behind their keyboard or that phone looking at that and not experiencing life.
Okay, moving on to the next one. So Clayton Clark is out for 2 weeks, and they even said it, we're moving these games to the United Center. It has a bigger capacity. So when it was announced that she was going to be out for 2 weeks, the ticket prices went down 71%.
Oh boy!
Do you think it went down if it was the other way around with Reese hurt? I personally, my personal thing is, and we're gonna, you know what? Let's just talk about this because we have a whole segment about this, and I'll just go into it. But yeah, the prices went from $86 to $25.
I do not think if it was the other way around, it would have been some decline in price, but not at that, not at that that price right there. That's crazy. First of all, $86 is crazy for a game. Damn, that's
for a WNBA game.
That's for a row. Is that for a row?
I paid $500 for second row.
What's your thoughts, Jerry?
No, I agree with you, man. It would have went down, but not this much. But this just shows what I've been saying for the longest. Caitlin Clark is a WNBA. It's gonna move when she moves, right? Like she is the new face of it. Like she is the coming of, basically she's right now the MJ of her league as far as ticket sales and how it's moving. Like this is not surprising to me. I don't think nothing wrong with it either.
She even got men wearing her jersey.
You think? Okay, we'll get into that topic.
Yeah,
later,
No.
yeah.
Sure? Okay, okay.
Yeah,
We got a whole segment for that.
Okay.
Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus.
For
And,
one, that
to me,
go
unfortunately,
ahead.
it's true.
Yeah. For one, the second one definitely won't happen. That way, in this day and age, man, no, for sure, the second one definitely won't happen. The first one, it may happen depending on the circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Like it won't be something I'll just do. You know what I'm saying? I get my own water. We gotta be like stranded somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Or like other than that, like neither one, bro. Like I don't.
Well,
I'm straight.
first of all, for people who don't know, that's a rule. You met a girl 30 minutes, you're not doing that. That's a rule.
All right.
Cause you
Well, let's say if they just said 2 days or a week.
you still not doing that's a
Not
rule,
doing that, bro.
that's you gotta ease into that. You can't just
Yeah, bro.
Well,
Mm-mm.
coming from a man with common sense, yeah. But some guys would dive head first into that.
That's
yeah,
tough.
okay. They gonna have
That's tough.
What Kevin Hart used to say bum lip.
Bum butt, bum bump.
A silver tongue.
Oh man, that's tough.
One gotta go.
Tim Duncan.
I agree.
Damn.
I agree. Tim Duncan.
Why it look like LeBron had a son between him and what's buddy name? Him and Andre Drummond or something. Like, that don't look like LeBron. But damn, that's tough.
Tim Duncan. That's not tough, bro. Tim Duncan. You gotta go.
Yeah, I know he's the most boringest superstar, but his legacy is undeniable. Damn, that's tough. That's tough. Yeah, it's Tim Duncan. By process of elimination, it's Tim Duncan.
It's Tim.
Well, we already talked about this,
Yeah.
so we're going to keep moving on. So here's what I wanted to say about that. While he's pardoning people, I think this is somewhere in the backgrounds waiting to happen. These are the police officers that were convicted, federal charges for the murder of George Floyd. I think this is around the corner.
I wouldn't be surprised. But I'll say what I said during the time in this event. To the people that think he didn't die from what these individuals did, I would beg you to go out on the street, let a 250-pound man put his knee on your neck and see if how long you able to breathe and how long you able to stay conscious. Y'all try that. Yeah. I'm gonna just leave it with that.
Also, Brandon, it's not just neck. Like even pressure on your back, if you land on your chest, can restrict your airflow because you need to exhale. Your body must expand. So if somebody stopping you from expanding, you can't breathe.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say that though, because for people who say, even the people that said he didn't have his knee on his neck, and you saw the full video of him with his knee on his neck, go out there and you try it with a 15-pound man on your neck. See how long you survive. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about that. Donkey of the day. Now let me stop. But
so he signed his contract for $46 million, and I think 30 is guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
And the following week he gets married. Well, the same week he gets married. Gives her a G-Wagon.
Yeah, G-Wagon.
No prenup. So only time will tell.
Well, when she made the hard eyes with dollar signs under Anthony Edwards' photo, I would have been out right there, because that's a telltale sign. That's a telltale sign. You can't even deny and say, "Oh, I didn't mean to do that." like that's a telltale sign. But he in love. He got to experience his life how he experienced. I hope it works out for the best. I'll say that. What's your thoughts, Jerry?
I hate to say it, man. I think as people, I think we put too much weight on love when it comes to marriage. I'm a firm believer that you need more than just love, and definitely from somebody of his stature, or state, well, how do you pronounce it? Him being a millionaire, I think you have to put business involved with your love as well, right? Because at the end of the day, history shows most athletes they end in divorce at some point in time, right? It can be right after retirement, it can be during retirement, it can be anytime. So he dropped the ball by not protecting himself, right? And I hate to say it, I think he will regret it at some point. I think he will regret it. I know he met her at a young age, and he feel like her and her family held him down, right? And granted, so you can take care of them. You can give them a piece of it that you want to give, but to sit there and sign your whole life away, you know what I'm saying? Like half of it, the hard earned money that you're going to continue to work for, I think people and athletes should rethink that, in my opinion. Right?
Mm.
I'm a firm believer in it's more to just love when it comes to marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like love do not sustain it, because there's gonna be time when in a way love varies. It's hard to say, but love do vary, or you can say like or lust, whatever it is. It varies depending on the stage you are at. So to put everything on that, I just think is ignorant for him, and hope all is well. I wish them the best, but we'll see.
She's gonna be like, I want to divorce him for irreconcilable. Damn, I can't even say it.
Irreconcilable differences.
Yeah, he's always on the road. He's always
Yeah.
traveling.
Mm. All respect to Ti, but in this picture, it looked like he got the body of a bad Instagram. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All respect to Ti, but and I don't know if that's his daughters or not. So
No, I think they're fans.
yeah, but he ain't looking right. That vest, the shoes, he ain't looking right, bro. He ain't looking right.
The city
Man,
looks
I
like
think-
he's dressed like he's in the WNBA.
I'm sorry.
No, I think he cool. I think he alright, man. I don't see nothing wrong with this.
Just they could have just left them off the list. They ain't have to do them like that, boy. Come on, man. They have to do them like that. Never, 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 never. You could have just left them off the list. But let's see here. Well, looks like the Pacers about to change that. So
Mhm.
yeah. I know it's mixed reviews out here, but he did unalive someone, so I do understand it would probably would have caused an uproar for his safety. So I'm looking at that part of it. He worked
Not
hard.
only that, they said that
Yeah.
they're going to try him as an adult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he did turn 18, so
Mm.
he's an adult now.
Yeah.
Was he 18 when it happened?
He was 17, so
Yeah, it don't matter. You can be a child adult at 14, 15, depending on the crime.
yeah.
It all depends on the state, you know, where you at. But
I am intrigued. I know a lot of people were intrigued about the Diddy case and all these other stuff going on with Lil Durk. But this case I'm kind of intrigued by because I want to see what happens when all the evidence comes out. What really happened.
Yeah.
Was it more than one attacker? Were they picking with him? Were they cornering him? Were they surrounding him? I want to see all the details for this particular case.
it's one thing that I did want to mention. I'm not sure how true it is, but I'm hearing the state made him give back all the GoFundMe money. They had to turn it over. Is that
they
true?
can't legally do that.
I
Google
think
it
the
real quick.
GoFundMe canceled the account. I
Yeah,
think that's what it was.
Because the state ordered them to.
Mm.
I think that's what happened. Yeah, I need to.
Well, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
they should be suing for that then because they can't legally do that.
If people are willing to contribute,
Yeah, you
that's
can't.
on them. Yeah.
Yeah. And then really, I don't know, these GoFundMe's, I'm like, if you ain't gonna take down and I had to bring that up, George Zimmerman's GoFundMe making $1 million, don't be trying to take down nobody else. To me. Because I feel like that's that's I don't know why someone is wrong in all entirely, but that's a worst case to me because kid didn't even provoke him or threaten him in any way. But he unalived someone and he still got $1 million from that. So it's other assholes out here that think like only one, the rest never existed. Man, it's Bow Wow, dude. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, bro.
I'm gonna say it.
This one's tough.
I think it's Eminem.
This one's tough. I wanna, hey Elroy, I wanna agree with you and say Eminem because I don't think without him, like it would have took off how it did. Like he was a crossover bridge that brought the Caucasians to hip mainstream. Yeah. But me loving hip hop, I have to go with, know what? I'm gonna go with Jigga.
I'm going Bow Wow.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Look, Bow Wow. Top 5. Man, he's already basically forced their hand to move their production to India for cheaper costs. So you can't really do this to them. Like, it's too costly to be here. Companies gonna want to save money, even though they make billions. I don't think you can really do this. This may be another bluff.
I agree.
Sir, hey, serve her right. Serve her right. Serves her right. What? And my question to a blind date: why would you agree to go on a date once you know 23 family members coming along?
Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he didn't know, or yeah, it just seemed fishy. Blind date, and then 23 family members. It don't seem like. Yeah, I don't. But I don't blame him.
So there'd have been 2 scenarios with me. One, when I'd have seen 23 other people show up, I'd have been like, what the fuck is this? Hell no, I'm out of here. Or I would have ate good and be like, let me go. Hey, order another round of drinks. I'm finna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
No, bro. You can't do that.
I would have got up out of there. That date over.
Yeah.
That date is over. Deuces.
Is 2.6 million worth 35 years of your life?
No.
To me, this stuff never equates. I don't care if it's 10 years. It never equates. Because like you lost time with family members. If you had kids, you lost time. 10 years of your life. That is stuff you can't get back. That's stuff you can't get back. So
you probably had goals in your life that's kind of hard to achieve after 36 years. You know, hey, he probably had plans to go to college, be an engineer or whatever. Looking at this gentleman, looks like he's in his 50s or 60s.
60s. Yeah. Elroy, if you think about it, I don't think 2.6 million is enough because in this market, he gonna spend what, 500,000 on a house, and then
Yeah.
he's an elder, so that means he gonna need health care. It's not enough.
Well,
It's not enough.
it
It's not
depends. I
enough.
mean, you can live off
No,
the interest.
that's a real good point. I can
No,
see buying a house, but yeah, he's got to get pay
health
for
care,
health care.
everything else, eating. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have no other investments. Like he gonna need someone to set him up with this money. Like he need a
Oh, financial
accountant or
advisor.
something. He needs
Yeah,
something with
account.
it. You
Yeah.
can't give him this right out of prison, 35 years. So that means he's already out of touch with society. You can't do that. He's
Mm-hmm.
He's
cooked.
he's going to
Yeah.
be a little reckless with his money, I think. Or people is going to be like, "Hey, remember I put something on your books, kick me down with a little something."
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
2.6
sure.
million.
To
Man,
me, it never equates though. I don't care if it's 10 years for a crime you didn't commit. I'm excuse me, can't even talk. You didn't commit. Like stuff happens to you in jail. Like look at the Central Park Five. That the buddy would never be the same. I mean, getting beat up in jail every day. That stuff, and he wasn't even there longer than 5 years. So like that's like, come on, that stuff never equates. To me, y'all should be paying me 2.6 million every year.
Yeah.
NBA
Yeah.
contract.
you guys going to try this?
Nah, I'm good on that. I think I'm
Sprite
good on
tea.
that.
I'll try it once. I'm not really a
Good on
pop guy, but I'm gonna try it once.
Yeah, I do drink zero sugars, a lot of zero sugars, but that don't look right to me. Sorry. Dude, buddy
I
is
don't agree.
cold.
I don't agree.
Cold.
I don't agree.
Cold. Buddy is cold blooded. Cold blooded. First of all, that's why. Why you gotta say I'm glad they did? It's like, come on, man, don't do them like that.
Well,
And
first off, they're fictional characters, but knowing what they did, I mean, so Jenny, you knew Forrest was in love with her even as kids, and she just kind of strung him along. She was out there being loosey goosey. She caught AIDS and got pregnant, and then she wanted to live out her last few years, with some security. Like, yeah, it's like I'm dumping your son off, So that was kind of cold blooded,
it wasn't
and
even his son, though, right?
that was his son.
It was.
Oh,
And
I,
she, I don't know, Monica, whatever her name was, she smashed the homie.
and
Elroy,
knew
if you
and knew
And
remember,
then and then
when did
pretended
that
like it didn't
happen?
happen
Did it
in
happen like,
college.
oh, in college? In college.
but she knew it was in the book. That's and he didn't know it was in the book. So it was public at that point.
I don't. Well, regardless, she should have told dude. What was she trying to keep it a secret? Like, I ain't gonna say nothing. If he don't see it, then it never happened.
Crazy.
Hmm.
That is well. First of all, I saw the video. That was not true. they were
Well,
it said
you're the same one that said they was making monkey calls during the free throws
no. That was
allegedly.
I saw that video. So that was true. And I don't think they put in the sound. I know it's AI out there, but I saw that. That was true. But this, her mouth was says fucking trash call. She didn't say fucking trash white girl. She didn't say that.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get into more of this in a minute.
Yeah.
We already touched on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Got to be a billion streams at this point.
Yeah. It was a good run.
And and you still hear it like it's a new song. I mean, and everybody did their little video takes after the Super Bowl. You know, yeah, that's something to be proud of.
Mhm.
I don't know if this is true or not.
No, that's not true.
That's not true. No way.
That's not true, bro.
Because they,
Man.
like most of her rebounds come from her missed shots. Like, let's say one play, she could like go for a layup, miss, get the rebound, go back up, gets blocked. That's considered a rebound. I don't
there
know.
was there was someone had a little short video of her. I think playing against the Storm. She had a play where she had a layup from every side or every angle of the basket, and she missed 7 times. She got 7 rebounds in one possession. So that was that's
So
crazy.
I do want to say, I do want to kind of go off. I was, damn, I can't believe I was saying it. I watched the game the other night. Uh, it didn't seem like she got that much time on the in the game. It seemed like they were focusing on the other star because when I was watching it, she didn't. I think she got like maybe 19 minutes in the game, but they did show her practicing, and she had a trainer with her who was throwing up the ball purposely to miss to get her to rebound and reshoot the ball. So at least they recognize that and they're trying to work on that. And she seemed to be responding to it pretty well. And they did it on both sides of the rim. So at least they acknowledge that and they're trying to work on that issue. Because I done seen her miss some real easy layups.
Oh, come on, y'all gotta chill,
Yeah.
brother. Y'all gotta chill. That is just hate. You're hating on the man now. All right,
I didn't do
chill.
this.
No, I ain't saying you, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying they hating on the man now. They hating on the man now.
That's not true. That's not true. For one, her list would be longer than that, way longer than that.
Exactly.
That's not true.
Exactly. That would be. Oh, not the cookie. Hey.
So actually, I did have one of her list, and it was like really unreasonable. The stuff that she was asking for, and basically, I'm gonna break it down to this. She was like 6 inches long, 6 figures. I mean, the list was, if not just as long, longer than this list right here. And the first thing I said, she asking a lot for, and on her side, she had about 5 kids. I said, she's asking a lot for some used pussy.
Bro, they finna be on your heels.
Yeah, bro.
They finna be on your heel. they gonna be outside Elroy's door.
Now, so this is updated. So he's been captured.
Yeah.
The stud lives. The stud is still free.
Hey, first of all, I just want to say that's a bad batch for any lineup, right? That's a bad batch. Right there. If any girl say she been out with these men, I'm gonna question her jersey.
So you know what stud stand for? Still titties under that shirt.
Yeah, they finna be on your ass. Yeah, see.
This is an actual quote.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't understand. The whole goal of the game is excitement. Players
It's to draw
excited.
fans.
Yeah, player excitement and fan excitement. Now I don't understand this. You wanted to be quiet in the arena or something? Like this is not church. You're not public speaking. You're playing basketball.
She wanna play at the Y, where it's just the players there. Shit, they're the reason you're getting paid.
Exactly. And why I do think it's unfair, some of the stuff that happens with Caitlin Clark, like the game is exciting because of her and all these other new players that are coming in. they made it excitement. I mean, you got Paige, you got what's the other girl that's come out recently? Shouldn't know. I forget her damn name. What's the girl that was on video with Jane Daniels? What was her name?
Oh, that college player,
Yeah.
Juju Watson. Yeah,
You got her coming out. So this stuff is just adding excitement to the game. This is what you want.
You gotta make yourself more clear. What do you mean when you say coming out?
Not Roy in a whole nother. Let's get in a whole nother realm. In a whole nother realm. I'm talking about a player coming to the WNBA.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the last one.
Okay. I don't even want to touch this. No pun intended.
Well,
I know how that.
Grover is not looking happy.
Well, Grover about to go into another realm. I don't even want to touch that one.
So yeah.
I don't even want to touch that. I'm gonna leave my comments to myself.
So this leads us to the big beautiful bill.
Yes.
Is what Donald Trump is calling his latest executive order, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right off the bat, there were some things I thought had good intentions. One of them being the tax write-off for tips and overtime. Where, and again, I'm not making excuses for people that choose to be in that profession, but if your livelihood is based on receiving tips, then you need to step your shit up. I mean, I shouldn't have to go to a restaurant, great service. I am a good tipper, but if for some reason I can't tip, let's say I had cash and I just had enough to cover the meal, you shouldn't get mad at me for just covering my meal. Uh, if your livelihood is based on tips, then you need to consider changes. If you're not, no, and before you guys attack me, if you're not making enough and you need to supplement your income, going home and sitting on your ass is not going to help. Hey, pick up cans, recycle, whatever the fuck. No, I'm being honest. I shouldn't have to be responsible for your livelihood and making your income. But it's here. It's great. I think that'll work well for them. But not at the expense of the patron or the customer.
Well, I just don't. They've already most restaurants, for people who don't know, they make it mandatory now for tips. It's already included in the bill when you go. So it's like you don't even get the opportunity or the choice.
Hey, Jeremy, I didn't know what a gratuity.
You don't even get the choice. You don't even get the choice anymore to decide how much you're gonna tip someone. And then they still got the nerve to put the tip line above the damn total on there, as you already included it in the damn bill. That's crazy.
See above.
Yeah, it's like the whole system is crazy. But to me, I understand it. Hey, you got to make a living out here. I get it. But the one thing on this big beautiful bill that kind of has me confused: why do we have momentary? So he has imposed a 10-year ban on state level regulations on artificial intelligence. So you can't. Yes. So you can't
regulate.
You can't regulate. I don't get that. To me, so we got kind of like, you want us to use AI for everything?
Well,
that's like some.
He's found some good use for it, and he's just buying time. you know, in Hollywood, they wanted to use AI. Let's say you were filming a role or whatever as a background person.
Mhm.
They wanted to be able to reuse you as an AI in future movies without paying you. I think that's
Oh.
bullshit. Yeah, without paying you.
Oh, I think I had that as one of my fun facts too. I think Tom Hanks is one that's agreed to that and being
Yeah,
able to do that. Yeah.
some no. So those artists, no, they have signed away their likeness
Oh,
to
okay.
be used in future movies, and probably it'll go to their kids, generational wealth, whatever, or their favorite charity or whatever. But we're talking about extras, people in the background, not having a choice of their image being used again and over. Just think about how
Oh
much money.
hell nah.
Just think about how much money the movie industry saves by reusing, your image in the background.
Well, think of how much. First of all, let's put clarity on that though. There are people that lower level actors they struggle financially, so that kind of takes food out of their mouth by doing that too. They're just a background actress or a 15-second clip or scene. Like to do that is just crazy. That's
Quick
crazy.
fun fact: I was an extra in a couple of TV shows. I was an extra on ER, and I was an extra on a TV show called Early Edition, where the guy gets the newspaper the day before.
Hey, I don't mean to laugh, but I thought you were going to say the heels have thighs or something. Something crazy. I thought you were going to say something crazy. I thought you...
No, so actually, it's funny that you mentioned that, and I have no problem disclosing that. I was in a porn movie. I was the husband that went away for work to go to work.
Oh, you got the worst role. You got the worst role. You got the worst role. Damn.
Honey, I'll see you later.
Damn. Damn. We gonna have to pray for you, fella. That's emotional damage.
So yeah, they wanted to reuse the extras image in a future movie, and you know how good you see in social media now, like they're doing like the baby versions. They'll take a scene from a movie and they got babies doing the scene. How realistic they look. Uh, they're changing, movie scenes and putting Muppets in there. So you see how great this AI is, and that's just their way of again, and that's the president. And not just him. Any president is capable of passing a bill or making something into law that would benefit, the food industry, the oil industry, the movie industry. And they kind of, I don't want to say kick back because it sounds real twisted and backhanded, but once the president's job, he's just securing his retirement. He passes these laws or bills or whatever, and he gets put on the board after he ends his presidency and probably doesn't have to show up because of whatever law he passed to let them get away with certain things. And this is probably it right here, with the movie industry letting them get away with using AI to their benefit to save money.
I think it's what do you say, a precursor to worse things that they can do. I mean, no regulations on AI. They start making videos of false claims and everything else coming out. I think it's too much of a powerful tool to be misused. Like, and people are going to misuse it. Like, I just don't like that. We're becoming too much of a Terminator to me.
Here's another one: restrictions on holding federal officials in contempt for failure to comply with judicial orders.
Wait, say that again. I didn't.
Restrictions on holding federal officials in contempt for failure to comply with judicial orders. So if the court orders, let's say, because Trump is using that a lot, orders him to submit, DNA or paperwork or whatever, and he can say, I can't do that because I'm the president. I got special privileges. That's basically what he's saying,
Mm.
and he's used that already. He was supposed to be sentenced last year, back in November, for the Stormy Daniels thing,
Mhm.
and he used that. No, you can't because I'm the president, or which is bullshit. So, and then there's one where he wants to lower the age of support for a child from. He wants to change it for 18 to 7, and that's just for people that's on the like SNAP
Mm-hmm.
programs or whatever, basically public aid, welfare, or whatever. They're saying that, yeah, we can cover you and your kids long as they're 7 and under, not 8 or to 18 when you're considered an adult.
Boy. Hey, the one thing that's kind of crazy is the savings account. $1,000 per child. So I know it's gonna be some people out there like, damn, let me get to making them babies. But before you get before you get to doing that, y'all should understand you can't use them funds. You can't use them funds. Just so you know, it's
Yeah.
only certain approved things you can use them funds for. And then they don't have full access until they reach the age of 30. They have to be 30 years old to gain full access to that money. So before y'all go out here and start popping off babies,
Right.
understand that money that money ain't really free. It ain't your money.
So also this big beautiful bill, he's asking for 150 billion dollars for defense. Um, when you have a Republican in office, they will put money towards defense or war.
Mm.
Whereas you having a Democrat in office, they will take away from the defense bill and put it in more towards welfare. That's just their thing. They also want to include funding for border security. I personally believe the wall. They started building the wall during his first term. I believe they should finish building it.
You think that's gonna keep the drugs out? No. You think that's gonna keep the legal immigrants out? No. I don't think they ain't going through no above land, they going below. They got people sneaking them in, all that stuff. There's too much going on for that. But to the
If you
masses,
but if you leave that space open, that's going to be more coming across illegally. I say, yeah, put the wall up,
I,
and then you focus on the other ways that they're trying to get in.
what happens when you can't get out? What happens
That's on them.
then? No,
That's
I'm
on
saying
them.
I'm
But at the
saying us
same time,
Americans.
just think, and it's not directed towards the Latino community, but think about who else is probably sneaking over here because it's the best route to come south of the border. You know, people that would look to do the United States harm, and that's their quick, easy access in. It's coming in through south of the border, undetected.
He's also eliminating removal of suppressors for firearms and the $200 tax that's attached to firearms as well. So gun owners would be supportive of that. Sure. So there's a lot to this big beautiful bill. I don't know how the work requirements are gonna go for people that are on Medicaid or what is it, Meta Aid,
Medicare,
Medicare. Yeah, they're
Medicaid.
uh, yeah. I don't understand how they're gonna do that. I don't understand that.
So
Nobody on.
this is not official right now. Right now, the Senate will have to consider the bill.
Mhm.
and where they see fit, make changes before being sent to the president for his signature. So what we're being presented with right now is not a done deal, but it's not to say that some of these things can actually happen.
True.
Like I said,
Errol,
he's
is that all you have?
oh,
Go ahead.
there's more. Um, reduction in social programs,
Mm-hmm.
uh, cleaning energy credits, which reduces or eliminates some clean energy tax credits.
Mm.
So I have a take that I want to get you guys' viewpoints. Because the more I deep dive in in these like laws or bills that's being passed on both sides, I'm finding that with the whole scheme of things, it don't matter in a way. I think I truly the more I deep dive, I truly believe both parties in a way want the same thing, but at different times and different levels. We talk about the terrorists and how much they put on defense. They both want defense. They both want certain things, but they use these tactics depending on who in office. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see in the next 4 to 8 years. I'm pretty sure at some point it's going to flip back Democrat, right? At some point the seat's going to be held by Democrats, and when that happens, because if you a fun fact, if you go back and look, no Democrat voted for this policy. None, not one. Right.
Yeah.
So I really want to see when the roles or the seats change back blue. I better see a lot of this stuff change. If it don't change, then my point is true. You guys want the same shit, but at different times. You know what I'm saying? And the more I deep dive, I'm like, man, like I really believe like America and also not just America, any government, when it comes to having multiple parties, I said it multiple times, is two wings on the same bird. They all gonna fly the same direction. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
if you in history, you only have two parties because of slavery. They divided on that. They used to be one party. So
Yeah.
just
But as you can see, like even with that, the parties, the actual just party, the parties changes all the time because like I know it's more to the story, but it's a fact that Democrats started slavery, was for the slavery. It switched, but I'm just saying like the parties they interchange, man. It's like having a mask on and taking it off depending on what time you in. So to me, like the only thing you can do is stay up to date with the laws and then make your base your life and your movements based on what the laws present and move that way. That's the only thing you can do because I truly believe, man, like it's going to go whichever way they want to go. For instance, Democrats like to put more taxes on corporations, right?
mm,
That's what they do. Republicans like to their taxes and like you trying to do now is give quote unquote give back to the people a little bit, so to show that I'm doing this right. But we all know how it works. If you tax big businesses, they're not going to eat that price. All they're going to do is lay off people, which means unemployment going to go up, and then
And
make
raise the
and then
prices
and
on
then make
us,
their prices more
consumers.
expensive on consumers, right? So if you deep dive more, the biggest thing that I be concerned with, because I try to put my personal life into it. And my biggest thing is I don't want to be in debt. I want to get out all my debt, right? Because then the more money I have or produce, we keep. America don't produce a lot of things, but we have a big debt. And if you go and research how Republicans and both Democrats feel about national debt, both of them want to lower it, but none of them do. Every year it goes up, but they all preach about lowering it every single year. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying once again, this is my thing. Like I
So
truly believe that.
with the
Yeah.
current government cutbacks right now, don't you think that's going to alleviate some of the debt?
No, it's not.
no.
It's not
The debt is a spending problem. We
spending.
have
Yeah.
not we have not eliminated our spending. Even though they'll tell you Doge has done a great thing, the spending is still there. And if this bill passed, you will spend more. So I don't think
Yeah.
that's gonna ever happen.
So it's already listed to increase. I think 3 trillion by 10 years. I'm not sure, that can be wrong. And that's one thing that Elon Musk and Trump recently disagreed about, is the spending. That's why they kind of like parting ways now.
Mm.
You know, and as you say, Elroy, Trump want to increase the spending on defense. Where the money coming from? He's asking for more money. You know what I'm saying, from the government to do that.
Well, I mean,
So
with him shutting down, certain entities, like let's take for example the IRS, where he's trying to reduce the workforce there. So that money that you was putting into the people's salaries that are no longer there, where does that money go?
to other sectors, like the thing, like Brandon said, like we have a spending issue with no revenue. Like imagine like your own personal life. So it's one thing I do agree with him with. I'm not sure how you're gonna do it, but we need to provide more revenue, right? And you can't get that from the people. You gotta get it from some produce or some product that we create. We don't have it.
So
That's
this was just
that's
announced today that he bought the steel company in Japan, and it's coming to the United States. That's projected to bring in 3 trillion.
well, this is the thing though that most people don't talk about though. We get in this aspect of if it's produced here, we're gonna make more money.
Mm-mm.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Like a lot of companies would have to come here and then they're gonna purchase land, they're gonna build these factories, build these organizations here, and hire employees here. When the truth of the matter is, skilled labor here has declined. You got you got 400,000 electricians needed. That's a hurting industry because you don't have the skilled labor. The plumbers, carpenter, I can go down the line. There are a lot of skilled labor, welders that they don't exist here. That's why they outsource the skill. They got to bring it to that country that has the skilled labor. We don't. That's the thing. We don't have skilled labor here. Not anymore. Not like we used to. Nobody's talking about that. But that's a big contributing factor of why these companies go outside of the country because it's cheaper and they got the skilled labor. That's why they had a big thing earlier this year or the year ending of last year with the visa, the workplace visa. People were like, "Oh, well, take away that too." Well, no, they're skilled labor. We need them. We need them here. That hurts our economy too, though, because we don't have the skilled labor here. Now I know it's a lot of people out there think they're super smart, think they're super skilled, but you don't know how to do some of these things that they know how to do. That's the problem that no one's talking about.
So Brandon, is that, see? I agree with you, and I blame that on the government, not the business, right? Because in my father's time in age in high school, they had skilled labor classes. They had the workshops, the carpentry, they had that in high school, so people couldn't go from high school and get a job. You know what I'm saying? Now, even the trade schools now, like, it's not as much as it was. So I blame government for that.
How does a country make revenue? It's through taxation though. That's why I don't understand how if you lower taxes, how are you making money?
No,
How
that's how we make money. But before, remember, before we want people wasn't taxed before. That was
it
a
was
new
tariffs.
thing. That was a new thing that they incorporated. First, they say, okay, let's do 1% and see how they respond. Or they ain't saying nothing. Okay, let's go to 2%, 3%. They kept raising it year after year until people
So
responded.
19, whatever the year that World War II ended, they created the victory tax. It was supposed to get them like a little kickstart to get things back in order. But we know it now as tax year. It happens every year. And it was only supposed to be temporary,
Mm-hmm.
but they saw the benefit of it and they never got rid of it. They
Yeah.
just put lipstick on it, gave it a new name, and we still deal with it to this day.
Hey, I don't. In the sake of time, we may not have time to discuss Angela Reese thing, but I'm gonna bring up one question I want to ask y'all, and it ties into a fun fact I had, but I'll bring that up now. In the 1860s, there were 1.2% Southern people from the South that owned slaves, and that's roughly 4 million people. Do you think that fact fuels the divide and hatred that we see today, or the fact that the oppression and injustice events that occurred after 1860 all the way up to this point have fueled the hate and divide that we see today?
Could it? Could that be both? If I
I'm
if I if I'm understanding your question right, you asking either or,
Yeah.
right? I think it's both. And as I like be around different cultures, being around different people, like going to different countries and seeing how they think, it's not inhumane to think like most people think that their kind or their own is the best in some way, some fashion. So everyone has this sense of me and my people, we be better at this, right? So seeing that you have this ethnicity that was in America at the time who was considered a lower class, I can see like I think it's both, bro. I don't think it's separate. I just think it's both. If that makes sense. You mute it.
Sorry.
No, you good.
I think everything that has transpired in the past 100 and roughly what 60 years,
Yeah.
165 years, that has fueled the hatred and divide to me more than just the slavery fact. And I say this because you have so many examples of injustice and oppression that have occurred on people who look like us. it's it's never going to be like, and it's never an apology after that either. It just continues to keep happening. I think that's the problem, even more so, even more so than slavery. I think that has, when you see people, whether it's the Rodney King incident, whether it's our leaders being killed, whether you see George Floyd, whether you see Trayvon Martin, whether you see I go on and on in the events, that stuff is fueled our divide and hatred. Really.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I just think it's also deep rooted, like through slavery, through like the mindset people had through slavery and taught down in history and passed on. Like I think you can't separate the two. I don't want to say which one is more. Um, yeah, I can't say which one's more. I just think you can't separate the two. And I think slavery was the start of it, and it's deep rooted. That's all it is.
What's your thoughts, Elroy? Your quick thoughts.
Shut up and color.
He don't care.
No, no,
Everybody do not
no.
care.
I care, but it's just like, we argue about it. Well, not argue. We discuss it, but nothing's going to change. That's why I say just shut up and color. That's an expression I picked up from work, when you try to advocate for something and it's pointless. Just shut up and color.
We'll go
I
inside.
care.
Elroy need a hug.
Hey,
You want to go into the next topic, Elroy?
Um, let's talk about the Caitlin Clark, Angela Reese thing. Um, it's it, it's still gaining momentum, and there's a lot of things I want to say. So I want to get the funny part of it out the way, and let's get serious. So, like I said, I watched a couple of WNBA games. Can't believe I'm saying it, and in its entirety. And I'm looking at their style and the way they shoot, and it's just like, no, I don't expect them to, in comparison to the NBA, to be big, burly, and strong, but their shots selection just looks kind of weird to me. It's like their arms are made out of spaghetti the way they shoot, and it's amazing how these shots drop. And I'm being real serious. It just looks uncanny. It's just some of the shots go up, and it's just like, how did they make it that far?
They do have skill, fella. I can't. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I can somewhat run up and down the court and all that. But if I went up against a WNBA player, just an average WNBA player, I know it looks they missing layups on TV. I'm gonna be honest with myself. She could probably gonna bust my ass. She probably gonna bust my ass. I ain't gonna
Well,
even stunt.
I'm not saying that they can't play. I'm just looking at it in the perspective. All I've known is the NBA and the big, the nice and the follow through, but their arms look like spaghetti when they shoot. It just, I'm like, how did that go in?
Can you name a player?
Yeah, who you watching?
All of
Yeah.
them.
Nah, not all of them. So
Yes.
so Wilson, her jump shot look like that. Her stuff
No,
looks smooth.
no. So in recent, well, like I said, I watched what game was that? Well, I watched the Sky and the Dallas, whatever, whoever they are, and then I watched New York Liberty, and I forget what they played the Fever, and it's
Mm.
just like again. I mean, they're scoring points, but it just looked like, how's that going in? So I'm not really trying to condemn them. I'm just saying it just how it appears to me as I view them. I mean, the fact that I'm watching it more should say, well, you still watching it? Yeah, you're damn right.
Well, you were in the era of Bill Cartwright's ugly ass jumper, and he's still that,
But so I want to get back to I mean, really what's going on. Like Caitlin Clark, I think is catching a raw deal. And I'm just calling it like I see it. Everybody's testing her. Everybody's confronting her. Everybody's challenging her. It's almost it's almost in reminiscent of when the Bulls, the Dream Team, played Croatia, and Tony Kukoc was coming to the team. Jordan Scotty was really all over him, like, okay, you're gonna be on the Bulls, show me what you got. And they just gave him so much pressure. And I see a lot of people confronting Caitlin Clark, and she's holding the ground. To me, I'm watching it because I want to. I'm not picking a side. I'm just calling it like I see it. She's just out there to play a game of basketball. She's not taunting. She's not trash talking. She's just playing ball. But a lot of people seem to not want to accept that she is right now the face of the WNBA.
she she is trash talking. That's a fact. She is trash talking. She does the hand gestures, all that too. But I will say she is getting uh extra added pressure put on her because of the outside story. Like people are making it about a race thing. They're making it, her and Angela Reese every time they go against each other. It's a jealousy, hatred, and resentment. But to me, it's just like they just playing basketball. People compete against each other all the time, and then they never like that in the man's game. Let's treat it with the same respect in the women's game.
So
Now
like
they,
I seen them really trying to bang on her hard. This was the New York Liberty. This was a couple of days ago. They was really going after her, and not to mention, Brittany Griner, you know, who should be grateful that she gets to play and sit down and do whatever, in this great state of America, you know, uh, how she's attacking her too. Like,
the Brittany Griner one is totally out of bounds to me. I don't think it's fair to put the attention of the game on one player and be like, you're ruining our game. That doesn't ruin your game to me. Like I don't understand her point of view at all. Like this is
Right.
making man,
She's an asset to the game, if you ask me.
yeah.
She's bringing
But
in more viewers. And again, it's not just about her. You know, she's not dribbling up and down the court by herself at every time. There's a total of 10 people on the floor, and there's how many teams? So it's not just about her. The WNBA had a following before her. They'll have one after her. It just so happens that she's helping it grow right now. There was a stat that went out that said she by the end of this year she could generate, not just her, but because of her presence, generate $1 billion for the WNBA. I think that's great for the game. And if you really want to go after her, go after her with skill. You know, you want to shut her down, shut her down. You know, none of the I mean, she's taking some hard fouls. And no different from anybody else, but I'm seeing a lot on her, which I think is personal.
what you think, Jerry?
I don't think it's personal. I just think it's part of the game. I think she is a face, so all the scrutiny that's coming her way is granted because she will be the one who benefit the most from it as far as payday. As you know, like she's right now the highest paid um player right now, right? If I'm not
Mhm.
correct. So I think it's warranted. I think she'd be fine. I don't understand this whole race war. I didn't see anything about it. I didn't even dive into it because I didn't see it that way. I didn't see um I didn't hear the comments that the fans said, so I didn't even go down that route. I just think it's whatever. Like this one here, I don't care. This I'm like Arrow on this one. I don't care, bro.
Shut up in color.
Shut up and color, bro.
Shut
Yeah.
up, color.
Yeah.
In the end, though, I will say I just hope the WNBA can get what they're hoping for. Generate profit because they've yet to do that. So generate some profit, build a game. You know, maybe stop shooting ugly jumpers according to Elroy.
I don't agree. I don't agree with Elroy. I think honestly, like you seen that it was a 3-point shootout between Steph Curry and the other. I forgot her name. Sabrina was her name? Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
Sabrina.
think I'm not sure who Elroy watched, but in my opinion, they can shoot. Like they really can hoop. Like if you watch them, they can hoop.
Well, the
They
shots are
nice.
drop. The shots are dropping. I'm just looking at the form, and it's just kind of odd to me. It's nothing. It's just not what I'm just not what I'm used to. And
I
again,
don't
I'm
know.
not. I said the shots are dropping. You know, they're scoring points, but it just the arms just look like spaghetti to me when they're shooting.
That's how he's telling he likes the game. To our audience out there, he likes it. He likes it. He likes it. He watches on a side note. He watches Bonds in basketball on Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, shit.
Yeah.
I got them all downloaded. I'm finna go watching a couple of games tonight.
Man, we gotta move on. We gotta move on. We gotta move on.
So what we got next?
Let's see. Well, if we're not gonna do the gentleman's corner, let's maybe we can hop into just the record shop, a quick segment of the record shop. I don't know who wanna go first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I almost wanted to play a snippet because I think about 5 songs in his list. The first 3 seconds, you would know what it is
Okay.
within the first 3 seconds. And my album is by our own Chicago native Kanye West, Graduation. And then my song is Can't Tell Me Nothing. But I'm pretty sure if I was to play the first 3 seconds of a song, y'all would know exactly what it is. Y'all want to test it out? Or not?
Go for it.
Yo, test it out.
Okay, let me go ahead.
What's the worst that can happen to us?
No, it's 3 seconds. It's 3 seconds. All right. Y'all heard that or no? Can you hear it?
mean,
I did for a hot second.
Huh?
Uh,
Okay. Let me do it again. Hold on. Let me do it again.
Wait till I get my money
no,
right.
You
yeah.
can't. Y'all can hear it.
Whoa,
So
yeah.
it's like on that CD on that album. It's like 4 or 5 songs. Like the first 3 seconds, you know exactly what it is. It's like so. Kanye is good at like making those beats, those starters, those little what do you call them ad libs that stay with you. So yeah, graduation.
Hmm.
Okay. Mine's is in the world of hip hop too. It's the Beastie Boys. The second album was called Paul's Boutique, and they had left Def Jam and went to Columbia Records. So they didn't have the Bomb Squad with production or Rick Rubin. They had a group called the Dust Brothers, and the Dust Brothers were sample heavy. I mean, the whole album was samples from rock, country, real obscure stuff. And to me, it was a great album. The lyrics were dope, production was tight, and to me, it's an enjoyable album. I won't say that you'll catch it in the first couple of seconds, but you it's very innovative. Like they'll incorporate their lyrics and then use a sample. Like they sampled Johnny Cash's voice, and it kind of incorporated with the rap lyric. Uh, just a great album, heavy on the samples. It was just an enjoyable album. And when I talk about these albums, I mean I listen to music on the daily, so I change my playlist out every day or every other day or whatever. And I was just listening to this a couple of days ago, and it reminded me how good it was. I want to say this came out. It was in the '90s. I want to say 92, 93, and just a great album. Some of the best albums, hip hop wise, came out between '86 and '91. So there you go. Paul's Boutique by the Beastie Boys.
All right, my album is the Red Light District with Ludacris. And people don't know about that album. It's got Get Back on it, and y'all know that song. Yeah. You don't know me like that. But I was really for the single, I was really going back and forth in my head. Should I go with a Ludacris album or a T Grizzly album or a country album? So I got songs all over the board, but the song I go with is one that inspires me every time I hear it, and it's definitely T Grizzly One on One, the single. And I don't know if anybody heard that, but it's definitely if you listen to that song, it gets you pumped up because it reminds you you are him. It don't matter what you're going through or none of that. You ain't gotta look for help or anything. You can handle it because you are him. And that song get me pumped up every time I go to the gym. I listen to it. One of one, T Grizzly. That's my single. The Red Light District, you already know because of Ludacris. I call him a wordplay master. That's what I call him. But he definitely hot out. Definitely check it out.
I don't think I
T
own
Grizzly.
in my possession a T Grizzly song. I
Even
think
yeah.
at a certain point in my life, it's just like I'm not open to listening to new artists. If you keep saying, "Oh, you got to listen to this," I'll finally listen to it.
just
Uh,
just if you want to ease into a T Grizzly song, listen to 101. And
no,
I
and I'm
guarantee
open for it, but I just got to that point where it's like, if you tell me a Nas is dropping an album, when it drops, I'm downloading or I'm purchasing or whatever. He's one of those artists. I don't need to hear nothing to go grab it.
mm,
And most of the music I listen to now, I can't tell you nothing new out. Most of my stuff comes from like I listen to most of the '80s and like the '90s.
mm,
I mean, with R&B, Mary J. Blige, Jodeci. I listen to stuff like that. I think that was like not well, I guess the pinnacle to me in R&B music. And I already told you '85 to like '91, as far as rap goes. Like I very rarely listen to the bling era. That's what they called it. So you got Jay
Early
Z, the
2000s.
hot, but yeah. I mean, I'll listen to it every now and then. A song might pop in my head. Like I was driving today, and this chorus just kind of came in my head. It was like la 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 la, and I couldn't get it out of my head. I'm like, I know this fucking song, and I'm driving. I just kept saying, if I keep saying this in my head, I'm gonna get it. And then I was just like, okay, Nas was in it, okay, and then he said this, and then I was like, oh, by the way, that song was called "Usual Suspects"
So
with Rick
wait,
Ross
wait.
and Nas.
So you said it go like how to go, Elroy? The beginning, like
La
Kanye's.
la la la. Almost. It's like a
Ah,
chorus. And it's like it just kept I'm like, I know the song. I was like,
yeah.
I'm driving and I'm like, I think Nas was in it. And I'm like, I'm gonna figure this shit out before I get home. And I just kept saying it over and over in my head. And then little pieces came, and then, you know, there was a reference that he made, and I'm just like, okay, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. And before I got to the crib, I'm like, all right, Usual Suspects. Check it
Yeah.
out. Rick Ross and Nas, Usual Suspects. And you yeah, listen to it and you'll
I'll check it
see
out.
the subtle comparisons.
Elroy, I have one question for you. One question, one quick question, because I see you as a hip hop and R&B historian. I don't know why, but I see you as that. So my question to you is: have you ever tried like testing other genres, like heavy metal, country,
I listen to
or
Metallica.
UK?
I listen to Metallica. I listen to Van Halen. I grew up listening to country music, the old school country, Kenny Rogers, Waylon Jennings. If you looked on my hard drive and you went through the music, you'd be like, this motherfucker just breaks into houses and steal people's CDs. Because there's everything on there. Um, I got Frank Sinatra. I got Dean Martin. I got Ella Fitzgerald. I got Sammy Davis Jr. My music goes all over the place. And one thing about it that kind of it was many reasons or many sources that got me into it. One of the thing was when the cassettes had the okay produced by such and such, sample used, and I want to hear these songs, and I started getting access to these songs. So it's just like, and believe it or not, my favorite music genre is '80s pop. So when I say that, I'm talking about Duran Duran, Huey Lewis and the News, Billy Idol, Madonna. That's my favorite music genre. I love rap. I love the hell out of rap, but my favorite genre is '80s pop. I guess it kind of reminds me of my childhood. Watching MTV, or there used to be a channel. It was a free channel on 66, and they showed videos 24/7. And then of course we had the jukebox where you could call in and they would play the video. So I've always been exposed to music, and only thing I don't like is classical.
I
Or
don't
I
know.
ain't gonna say I don't like it. I just really can't get into classical music.
I don't think for me there's any music genre I can't listen to. I mean, I don't care if it's country. I don't care if it's rock. There's always I mean, because if you're a real, true music historian, it all plays off each other. It all ties into each other. Whether it's jazz, whether it's rock, whether it's country, whether it's rap, it's all playing off each other, and they all telling an amazing story. When you got talented artists. Now the mumble
Yeah.
rap, that's the only stuff I can't listen. Or that London rap. No offense to London rappers. The all that I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Now,
Sorry.
I was against mumble rap, but I do have a collection of mumble rap, and it's more hooks than lyrics. They can go the whole song like Percocet, Percocet, and then they might say a few words, but it's more of a chorus than it is a song. But it's something about it is just catchy. 21 Savage has a song called "A Lot." I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys heard that.
Yeah.
That actually tells a good story. How many times she take you back? A lot. How many times you fuck it up? a lot, you know. So yeah, oh man, my music taste is just all over the place.
I think now we got to go into our affirmations for this week's show. Who wanna start off? Rock paper scissors. Rock paper scissors.
No, I got it. So it was either last week or the episode before. My affirmation was the best commodity that you could have is friendship. So I want to kind of piggyback off of that. I still believe in it. I still stand behind that 100%, but it's totally useless if you don't use it. You know, sometimes our pride won't allow us to ask for help or assistance or guidance or advice or whatever, and it's right there. You know, you got people that you can talk to and they won't judge you, and even if they can't relate, it's just like, wow, you know, they're gonna give you something, probably a little bit of hope, but they don't know to help you if you don't know how to ask for help. So you can walk around with a pocket full of money, but you can't have nothing unless you spend it.
Mm.
I mean, I mean, what money is good to buy things, but if you don't buy nothing, you just got a whole bunch of papers in your pocket. But just like friendship, it's no good unless you reach out for it and say, "Hey, I need to talk. I need to get this out my system." You might not be able to help me, but I know that you'll listen, and maybe I'll find the answer just talking to you. So it's no good having a commodity if you don't use
I like it.
I like that. I like that. Uh, Mine is a kind of a four-part, and I don't want to take away from Jeremy Shine if you want to go ahead of me.
Yeah, I'll go first, man. You got a 4-part.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll go
yeah,
first.
yeah.
We didn't land on Plymouth Rock.
So as I'm getting older, I start realizing that I have this thing like getting very comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like you heard that phrase, "Old habits die young," right? So I thought about this when I seen this. They call that African proverb. It's a cat that dreams of becoming a lion must lose its appetite for rats. And the meaning behind it is like to achieve greatness, you must let go of old habits, right? Because they can hold you back from your progress, right? So it's something that when I seen it, I thought about it because I can see myself. The older I get, I'm getting more comfortable, too comfortable, and it dawned on me when over the weekend. It was a holiday weekend, right? And I'm sitting at the crib on a Monday, and I literally didn't know what to do. I was so consumed about tomorrow working tomorrow. I'm just like, man, like this gotta change. I gotta do something different, change something up, right? So old habits die young. So just be thoughtful of that.
Mine is coming from Nick Cannon, so I'm gonna read something that he posted. I thought it was very inspiring, so I'm gonna read it.
Don't
This
pull
is a
out.
nah, he ain't write that. Nah, he ain't right. But yeah, this is a 1,000-gram bar of iron worth just $100 in its raw form. Turning into hush or horseshoes, its value rises to $250. Crafted into sewing needles, it becomes worth $70,000. Shape it into watch springs and gears, and it soars to $6 million. But refined into a high-tech laser components used in computer chips, that same value raises to $15 million. Your true worth isn't defined by what you're made of, but how you develop your skills and apply them. Understand this. That is, for people who don't know, we all, it's like, I think Conor McGregor said this, and I'm quoting people, but we all start at this point. We're all at that same point. but everybody veers off because of the skills they master. So that's how you determine your worth. The skills that you master, the skills that you acquire. And that's something I thought I should read off. That's very inspiring, and it should help people out there who feeling that self-worth is not there. If you master skills and you master your mind, it comes there. And I got 3 other ones that I want to read off that I thought would be very interesting too. Let me read these off here. Let's start here. Don't be shocked when things get good all of a sudden. You worked for it, you deserve it. Don't downplay your hard work. If you ever lack confidence, I'll tell you with one phrase: get your fucking confidence back. Without it, you will fail miserably, no matter how skilled or smart you are. If someone's trying to talk fear into your plans, tell them with this one phrase: get the fuck out of my way. And just like that, that's my affirmations.
Well, there you have it.
Episode what are these? This
time.
Episode I think that's right. Left to right.
Yeah,
right.
episode 50.
Yeah.
Growth, education. We went a little longer than we normally do, but had a good time doing so. We had to kind of cut the show short a little bit. But don't worry, our Fun Facts and Gentlemen Club will be back next episode. Which episode is that?
51. I think 51. Hey, this episode went so long. Jeremy went to sleep 7 times. That's gotta be a record. But definitely like, comment, and subscribe. I hope everybody enjoy. This is definitely inspirational. I hope you were inspired, entertained, and informed, and you got some good laughs, some good thought from. You heard some good thought-provoking ideas and opinions. So like, comment, and subscribe.
Check out our social media: Facebook, Instagram, and my OnlyFans, Chunky Lover 69. Sponsored by Royale and Iced Tea, Paradise in the Bottle. Get you some.
and go get Roy's movie, Heels Have Thighs or something. I don't know.
Bye, honey. I'll see you tonight.
Like, comment, and subscribe, people. Thank you.